Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wind Orchestra Masterworks. This is a conversation where we'll dive into the Wind Orchestra's greatest stories and legends. I am your host, Mike Korson, and joining me yet again for another great talk today is Maestro Eugene Corporon. Happy New Year, Eugene.
Happy New Year. Good to see everybody. Good to be with you again, Mike and Eddie. Good to see you guys.
Today, we will be diving into the brass family, specifically the trumpet, with our special guest, Eddie Jimenez. And Eugene, would you like to take it from here and share some of your knowledge about the trumpet before we bring Eddie in?
Sure. It's a deep history. It goes back quite a ways, and was a favorite of the Etruscans and the Romans that far back. There were even prior to that wood trumpets, and even through the Renaissance, trumpets could be made of wood. But the Bronze Age is what really brought it forward and put it into the spotlight. I'm sure the listeners might know this, but trumpets didn't have valves, the pistons that people pushed to make all the notes, until about the 1800s, 1815. So prior to that, it was all done with the lip. And throughout various musical historical periods, it became attached to the royalty of the court and remains so. Trumpets also were used in watchtowers in the Middle Ages. They were very good for signaling, which meant if there was a fire on the north side of the town, you could blow a certain signal that people would recognize that would take them to the right place to fight the fire. If the Huns were coming over the mountains headed for your castle, you could blow a warning. In the wind band, it's essential. And in the orchestra, it's just so essential. And we've seen along the way, interestingly enough, various versions of the trumpet. In the early 1900s, the cornet was the preferred instrument. And trumpet was thought to be just nothing more than, and I'm quoting Herbert L. Clark here, a famous trumpet player, or cornet player. Says, trumpet will never be anything more than a jazz instrument. And he kind of condescendingly said that. Jass is the way he spelled it. But as we know, trumpets have not only gotten to be a hugely important classical instrument, always been an important jazz instrument. And even today, we're seeing people play all sorts of different sizes, which is very interesting too. It's such a variety of color: bass trumpet, flugelhorn, trumpet, cornet, piccolo trumpet. You have all these different registers and different timbres available, and they're being used better and better, I think, in the wind band and in things like brass quintets. You watch a brass quintet come on stage, and the trumpet players are carrying 3 and 4 instruments with them because they're going to use them in so many different ways to create different sounds.
I think we're ready for that part of the show when we bring our special guest in to talk about the instrument that we're planning on discussing. So he is currently a member of the trumpet section in Lone Star. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Eddie Jimenez to our show. Eddie, we're thrilled to have you here to talk a little bit about trumpet.
Yes, sir. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, and let's start by having you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. Can you tell us maybe a little bit of background about your musical life, where it all began and where it is now and where it's going?
Sure. For me, it all started, I'm from Havana, Cuba. And as you probably know, Cuba froze in the 1950s. In fact, I could show you a picture of me as a kid. I moved to America when I was 10 years old, but I could show you a picture of me as a kid, and you wouldn't know if the picture was taken in 1956 or if it was taken in 2010, because it's just frozen in time. In fact, a lot of the pictures that I took they took of me were cameras made in the 50s and 60s. So my grandfather, he would sit every afternoon at 2 o'clock and turn on his 1950s radio, and he would listen to classical music. So when I was a little kid, I was very aware of Beethoven, Mozart, Strauss, and I would just love sitting next to my grandfather in his rocking chair, also from the 50s, and listening to classical music with him. I did my undergrad at the University of Miami. I got a degree in trumpet performance, and I graduated as the most outstanding brass student from there. And I pursued a classical career. And then I went to Manhattan School of Music, where I got my master's degree in orchestral trumpet performance. And when I graduated, I was awarded the Cecil Collins Award for Excellence in Brass Performance.
Can you tell us maybe a little bit about like your own like personal like work-life balance? Like how did that change like when you were pursuing a kind of a professional career versus now? Work-life balance. Do you have any advice for maybe like either like aspiring professional musicians or maybe musicians that are out there like right now kind of wondering just like I don't know how to like balance like everything?
Yeah, family first. Family first. That's the thing that I would say. When I was pursuing a career in orchestral performance, you got to wake up with that trumpet in your hand, and you go to bed with that trumpet in your hand. And I remember putting my family second at times because I had that one gig or I had that one audition. It was really important, but that does your family no good. So it's really important you find a good work-life balance. And this job that I have now allows me to do that. When I was teaching private lessons, it was one kid after another, one kid after another, very little breaks in between, 10-minute lunch, and then back to teaching, and then get home and work on your own trumpet playing so you could get that job. Now I still practice quite a bit because I don't want to give up my trumpet. I'm too passionate to give it up, and I want to maintain, not just maintain my skill, but continue to improve my skill. So with the job that I have now, it's not as stressful. I like that I get to teach bands, and I still have time to practice during the day. And then when I get home, my entire attention is devoted to my family and a little bit of woodworking on the side.
Eugene, do you want to add anything to like work-life balance as a musician?
Well, yeah, I totally agree with Eddie. I think you have to really organize yourself in a way that allows you to really family, friends, the people you are around really need to know you're there for them. But also, it's anytime you're a passionate artist, as Eddie is, he's also a composer, by the way. You really have to find ways to manage your time and to put things together so that you can be present to your family, you can be present to your friends, you can be the best possible musician you can be. And the thing about music is you spend your whole life growing, and that's what's so wonderful about it. You're never finished, and that's a challenge for your whole life, that passionate discipline that you have. And so there's time. You have to keep saying to yourself, I have time to do this. It doesn't all have to happen today. And in fact, the more successful musicians I know are people who have a routine, a daily routine, and they make room in their lives so they can be balanced, because you have to be a really great human being to make great music. One doesn't exclude the other. And so the people who support you are also people who support your music and come out in your music and come out in the way you make music and the way you share music with other people.
Awesome. Well, we are almost out of time here, and I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun over here. Like just like getting to know like or picking both of you guys' brains just about like the musician's life. It's just like, interesting to like get everyone's perspective on like what their lives are like. So, but anyways, okay. So Eddie, can you tell us what you love most about playing in Lone Star? Like, what does it mean to you? Or actually, how long have you been playing in the group?
I've been in Texas for about 8 years now, and I think I started playing that same year that I got here, 8 years with the Lone Star Wind Orchestra. I was surprised that I made it. I didn't think I had a good audition, and then I got the call, and I was just thrilled. What I love about the Wind Orchestra is passion, just pure passion. As freelance musicians, we have to work for money despite the love of what we do. We have to do it. We got to make a living, got to pay rent. But the Lone Star is one of those groups that, yes, we do get paid, not much, and we don't care much about it because it's that one group that we just love. We love the music that we play. We love the people in the group. Eugene Corporon, you can't go anywhere in the world and say the name Eugene Corporon in a wind band circle, in a musician circle. Everybody knows who he is. He doesn't take a penny from this group. he's just devoting his heart to it, and he loves this group, and that passion, it just breeds more passion. And I love to see Barry and how much he does for the group and the founders. It's the one group that I've played with ever where every single member is there because they love the group, they're passionate about the group, and they're passionate about the type of music that we play.
Man, this is just making me miss playing all over again. All of a sudden, I want to get back into, like, you know, having a concert or having rehearsals. Which I think, like, right now we're planning on maybe doing something in April or May. I'm not sure if it's completely set in stone yet, but that's what we're hoping for. Okay. Well, great. It was wonderful talking to you both. For all of our listeners, we appreciate you all tuning in. And until next time, we hope you guys all stay healthy, and we'll see you later. Bye.